Hello, people of the world that watch new vehicle reviews on the internet. Welcome to the 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander SEL. I was starting to think Mitsubishi was extinct because I have not had one to review since 2018. But today I'm going to get this thing up in the air, we're going to nerd out in the tech specs and see how it's constructed. Alright, Mitsubishi, first up, this thing, 86% part content of Japan. This is like one of the most JDM new cars you can buy today. This 2,000-pound tow capacity. It's not a tow rig. Fake vent, single exit downturn tip, stainless muffler. Manufactured by Marelli. The Outlander utilizes a multi-link rear suspension configuration, lower links made out of steel, and little plastic aero shields with aluminium knuckles, as well as the upper A-arm link. Anti-sway bar, which is forward mounted, that's huge for this type of a vehicle. 27mm and change diameter. Paired with a set of KYB sourced rear dampers, housed in the center of a steel rear subframe, making up the super all-wheel control all-wheel drive system, is a proprietary rear differential unit with a Borg-Warner sourced clutch pack to engage or disengage the system. And it has a fairly advanced brake-based limited slip system, as well as active yaw capabilities, and a 5.694 final drive ratio. Lots of Nissan Mitsubishi partnership reminders on here since they're shared parts with the Rogue. Moving up the center, got a two-piece steel drive steel two-piece drive shaft. The 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander, now in its 4th generation, in this top spec SEL with super all-wheel control, weighs in at 3,903 pounds with a 57-43 front to rear weight distribution. In the music department, the exhaust mid-pipe measures in at approximately 50mm or about 2-inch SAE. Ease of maintenance, very old school kind of layout with the front subframe dropping down under everything. It makes it tight for accessing on a transverse all-wheel drive. You can see the drive shaft going to the back half of the power takeoff unit. That's an interesting looking little bendy boy exhaust for the EGR system. The steering rack's right by my finger over here. That steering rack, which you can't really see, is an EPS system with a 14.2-to-1 ratio, 2.6 turns lock to lock. Hairy cardboard. As far as the transmission is concerned, it is a bit of a partnership. It is originally a Jatco sourced CVT8 continuously variable transmission with a maximum torque input rating of 250 Newton meters or 184 pound-feet. However, Mitsubishi wanted to put their own spin on it, so it is incorporated with the Invex 3 programming. So it's got Mitsubishi robots making all the decisions for the shifting. Up front, the Outlander utilizes an all aluminium in construction McPherson strut style front suspension. I definitely was not expecting all aluminium suspension up front on an Outlander. Some more KYB sourced coilover strut assembly front dampers. A front anti-sway bar measures in at approximately smaller than the rear, 23mm and change diameter. Under engine cover, again, more hairy cardboard, a little bit of plastic. Again, though, this is the luxury trim, not the off-road model, so it's got a metal oil pan, but you got to take this off to drain the oil. All right, it's time for the braking test. Nothing behind me. Ready, set, stop. Wow, holy shit. Oh my God. I was not expecting that. It was a little aggressive and shifty. It bucked and bobbed all over the place. Felt like I was in a Wrangler more than a Outlander. The pedal feedback from the ABS was super aggressive. It wasn't super smooth, but it stopped way quicker than I thought it was going to. Today's video is sponsored by Penguin Ass. You can purchase Penguin Ass at SarahAndTune.com, as well as my very own detailing brand, RoboBubble. So if you'd like to support this channel and videos like this, feel free to take a pair of these cheeks home, available at SarahAndTune.com. Now back to your regular scheduled program. That braking was just made possible thanks to a 2-piston front caliper with a 13.8-inch or 350.5 2.5mm front rotor. The wheels, these are a 20x8 with a positive 35mm offset alloy, wrapped in a set of 255 45 20-inch Toyo Open Country HT all-season tires. Inner fender liners on this luxury trim, plastic, all right, no hairy carpet. 6 individual cups just for the high and low, and then you got the LED DRL, LED fog. Front-facing cam, the radar eyeball thing. Behind the front bumper, got an active set of grille shutters. No black plastic catting or rub strips, just smooth all body color down the sides. The rear inner fender liners, that's really thick. It's like wool pants. Out back, you go down to a single piston caliper with a 330mm or 13-inch rotor. Wheel and tire, same size as you have up front. In the name of science, it is now time to give it the beans. But first, assessment of bolstering. It's got good bolstering. Surprising? The seats are very high-end looking. They're finished in this brownish purple leather. It's like a chocolate color. Super soft, perforated. They are heated as well as ventilated. Ooh, that's actually pretty powerful. As is the steering wheel heated. I've never seen a ventilated steering wheel. That'd be really weird driving down the road. You'd probably hear your hands like someone squeezing the end of a balloon and letting the air out. As far as drive modes go, I have a little rotary dial in the center here I can rotate and go from eco to normal to tarmac. So Mitsubishi have them. Instead of sport, it's tarmac. To gravel, to snow, and mud. Also have a button in the center for hill descent control. Now, if this was the trail model, I would definitely do an off-road review with it. I just feel it's stupid when it's on 20-inch wheels. As far as traction control goes, I can press the button on the menu. ASC settings, system off, limited driver's aid, ASC setting off. I can also go into driver assist below there, and there's a bunch of robot safety aids in case you like that type of thing. And then I have my super all-wheel control gauge to show the vectoring happening. I can also take the drive selector hoof in the center, tell me that doesn't look like a hoof, and move it down into drive, or pop it down again into manual. And this is where Mitsubishi specific programming comes in. There are some plastic flappy paddles in the back of the steering wheel that turn with it. I, however, am going to leave it in drive because of the CVT. Shifting is nonsensical and just makes it slower. So let's see what this thing can do. Ready? Go. All right, it actually let me launch it. Oh, and it fake shifts. It does have it fake shifts and seems like a real shift in sound at least. That's good. It's A for effort. Good pop. Oh, look at these things. Ooh, that's a chunky hood. No hood struts either. Neat, it's got little caps in it. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander is the Nissan-sourced PR25DD, which is an all-aluminum, naturally aspirated dual overhead cam 2.5-liter 4-cylinder that produces 181 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 181 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. Square. I don't think that's a square. There's no plastic or foam engine covers to remove here to dress things up. You see the air comes into the air box and then drops straight down into the throttle body in the front and then into that plastic intake manifold. It's got this honeycomb texture to it, kind of neat. The valve cover itself made out of plastic, and then in the rear is actually a lot more room on the top half than I thought there would be. You see the exhaust manifold, the O2 sensor right there. Very spacious though. Digging a little bit deeper on this 2488cc naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, it is undersquared at an 89 by 100 millimeter bore and stroke, but with a 12:1 compression ratio. This also has variable valve timing on intake and exhaust cams, as well as it does have direct fuel injection only. And it's a timing chain driven engine. You can see back behind the master cylinder, it's got a traditional brake booster, 12-volt battery, ECU, fuse box, all in the same corridor. Pull an expansion chamber off to the side here. Passenger side engine mount's huge. See, it has PR for the engine code. You can see the alternator up top right here. It's a fairly old school recipe for an NA 4-cylinder. A lot of people might be a fan of that. Here's the kicker. If you want an actual Mitsubishi sourced engine rather than a Nissan one, next year for 2026, it is going to now have the 4B40 mild hybrid 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder that is a Mitsubishi engine. No longer will it have a naturally aspirated Nissan engine. Go Nissan, go! Let's be honest here, I'm cheering for Nissan because that's who's powering it. Handling is, handling makes me want to push it harder. I mean, it's not that heavy of a vehicle compared to a lot of its competitors. Considering the size of the vehicle, it's well under 4,000 pounds by a good bit. I want to get more excited about it, but I'm getting kind of held back because of the fact that it doesn't have a Mitsubishi heart under the hood, and that is something that is going to be addressed. And I mean, you could get the hybrid version if you want a Mitsubishi heart, but Mitsubishi makes great engines. The logic in the transmission that is Mitsubishi is doing its job at keeping the revs up and keeping me in the power band. I will say something that this lacks because it is a CVT is a mode to just make it be a CVT. Stop with the fake simulated shifts and just let it stay right there like a snowmobile constantly in the power band. That's what I would want for performance. If you're gonna have to use a CVT, eke the most out of it. Don't try to make it appeal to people that I don't understand how a transmission works. Why is this fucking fun? Why am I enjoying this? Gets a little shifty over bumps, but I shouldn't be enjoying this as much as I am. And by no means is this a performance vehicle, but you can have a little bit of a smile on your face when you're ripping it on a windy road. I start getting excited and I start wanting more, and I know that Mitsubishi doesn't have the capacity to give us more right now. They're trying to survive by making the appliances that are selling the most. They had a twin clutch transmission in the Evo 10 back when really the only Japanese performance vehicles that had that was the GTR. They were like ahead of the curve. If they would have kept that going with the 4G63 and then the 4B11 and then whatever would be next right now for a high performance engine from them, I can only imagine what they would be capable of if they could do it. Put it in manual mode, drop it down in the gears. That's giving me a little digital beep, not letting me downshift and actually bring it all the way to red line. Will it shift for me? Yeah, and it short shifts too. It's shifting at like 5,500 and red on the tack is 6. Either way, this is more fun to drive than I was expecting. It is more performance in the handling department than I was expecting. If this was not on 20-inch wheels and it was the trail edition, I want to do a proper off-road test with one of these because I feel the all-wheel drive system's probably highly capable in it. You can feel it vector a little bit at lower speeds coming in and out of corners, like pulling out of places. The only SAWC badge on the entire vehicle is on the glass. Storage. And that is the size of the back of an Outlander. Well, that's neat. There's a little vent down there for the woofer that says Yamaha. What's neat though is this actually has a third row. Oh, it's plastic. There's a headrest storage area. That is ridiculous. It's like cartoon characters. This is the approximate shape of the rear seat of an Outlander. I will say that headroom, it's a little tight if you're a Sam Squanch. The rear seats are heated. I have my own little climate control menu where I can adjust my air. Some vents, dual USB-Cs. I apologize, sir. I have left you like that for quite a while. Put you in one of the many map, geez, this thing's got map pockets for days. Upper middle class shades, more Yamaha speakers, 2 of them, fancy grills. The rear door cards also have that super soft quilted leather. Auto up-down rear windows. Well, looks a lot more expensive than the vehicle is. The back seat looks a lot more expensive than the vehicle is. What the hell? Is there no... What? Whoa, that's crazy! The center armrest that folds lets the pass through it, the whole thing. The rear seats recline at least? You do recline. aluminum door sill covers that say Outlander. Okay, so this doesn't make sense. It's not that big of a vehicle, but yet it has a third row. Oh, yeah, I do not fit back here. This is like a back seat in a sports car. That is my leg room, where I have plenty of it. However, the people in the middle have about as much leg room as the Penguin currently does, although that front seat is fairly far back right now. So I do get a little square cup holder on either side back here and a slot where you can put a hash brown or two. I still can't get over these headrests. It's like designed for a SpongeBob character. There's a slot to stow the seatbelt or business cards for your toddler. Kind of a neat shape for a window. It's like an airplane. I don't know. I like it. It's ridiculous, but I like ridiculous. Ridiculous makes cars fun. The dash, it's also super soft. Center armrest opens up to another USB-C little pad. Also has a giant panoramic roof. Whoa, that's a neat pattern. Man, for this being a top spec model, they sure do give you a bunch of empty spaces. Robo fold mirrors, faux carbon trim. As far as the infotainment system goes, the screen's just kind of plopped up here on top of the dash. The menu, it's very Nissan looking. The wireless phone charger has a little removable placemat inside there that you can take out to clean. Dual USB-Cs, and Yamaha actually included this little sound stick to test out the stereo. The best way to describe this Yamaha sound system is it's goosebump inducing. This is one of the best sound systems I've ever tested in a vehicle. The only thing that's holding it back is just the raw sheer power of it. It kind of trails in that area, especially in the subwoofer department, compared to a super high-end Mark Levinson and a Lexus. AC compensated rain compensation, this is crazy. It does have plenty of trail cams, which would be super handy for off-roading. It does have Fruit and Robot compatibility baked into it, so you can use your smartphone. The built-in navigation is apparently a big U2 fan. The most likable aspects about driving this thing are the elements that are distinctly Mitsubishi about it. And that's not a dig at Nissan. Nissan makes good stuff too. I like a lot of their vehicles, like the new Frontier. That's probably one of the best new pickups you can get, and the Z. But it's the distinct, weird Mitsubishi elements, and I mean weird in a good way, the character about this that makes it likable. Character is what makes a car stand out and enjoyable to own, and not just a carbon copy, rinse, repeat appliance like everything else on the market. And there is a lot of things about this that are a carbon copy, rinse, repeat appliance aspect. And that's just because that's what's selling the most right now. So they have to...
Caution, unpaved road.
This road's definitely paved. That's what I mean about weird things about it. That is actually a Nissan element though. Now this thing is not without flaws, like the infotainment system. The navigation warns you of things that don't exist. Fairly certain the road I'm driving on has been paved for 25 years. And I get that this is a shared platform with Nissan and Renault, their partner companies, and this is a mass market vehicle. Just it's designed to be an appliance for people that aren't necessarily car enthusiasts, and most people don't care who makes the engine or transmission as long as it gets the job done. There's nothing inherently wrong. I don't dislike the powertrain in this. I want it to have Mitsubishi powertrain. Mitsubishi makes great powertrains. A car that I feel got a bad rap from automotive journalists and routinely got shit on in reviews that did not deserve it was the Mitsubishi Mirage. I think that was a fantastic little car. Yes, it was cheap. It was laughably cheap. That was the point of the Mirage, to be laughably cheap. But the 3A92 three-cylinder engine that is in that is a nuke-proof. There's a reason why people are taking those engines out of crashed Mirages in junkyards and building them, slapping turbos on them, and throwing them in side-by-sides. Because Mitsubishi makes great engines. The 4G63, the 6G72, the 4B11. A lot of people argue wasn't as good as the 4G63, but it also depends who's modifying those engines. There are things about this that you can still tell there are engineers and people at Mitsubishi that are enthusiasts and do want to make enthusiast vehicles. The fact that they had a rally art model across their entire lineup a couple years back, but it was poorly marketed, no one really even knew it existed, was awesome. There's a lot of enthusiasts that are crying for them to bring back the Lancer Evolution, and we know that's not going to happen because cars just aren't selling right now. But there's an Evo model that people are forgetting about that Mitsubishi made before it was even a fad, and that is the Pajero Evolution. And I feel that would sell more than ever right now if they were to bring that to market. A body on frame, high performance, awesome little off-roader. And it would fit with what they're kind of doing. So if you're gonna pray for an Evo, that's the one that you want to hope for. It is now time to give the Mitsubishi Outlander some scores. Starting the bean score, the assessment of the feeling you get in your gut. Ow, when you give it the beans. And it's getting a rating of, I have a little miniature foam finger indentation. It's like back in the day, the Playboy bunny sticker where you get a tan around it. I'm gonna have that, but with a foam finger on my abdomen. Next is the cookie score. And where this starts out at about $38,000, it's actually pretty good. But this fully loaded version with the Yamaha sound system in it at about $45,000, it gets a rating of, that's still pretty good. It looks like a luxury vehicle on the inside. Next is the wrench score, the assessment of ease of maintenance, and it gets a rating of, followed by the squid score, handling assessment, and it gets a rating of, maybe another decade from now, Mitsubishi will send me another and I can do an off-road assessment. Lastly is the penguin score, the assessment on how much I personally like a vehicle, and the Outlander gets a rating of, I really hope Mitsubishi can survive, and hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye!